AITA for refusing to stop bringing my wife's homemade lunches to work. I, 34 am, work in construction, and I have what I believe is a pretty sweet deal when it comes to lunch. My wife, 32F, is an amazing cook. I mean, the kind of cook who, every morning without fail, wakes up at 4 a.m. to prepare me something fresh and home-cooked. Things like birria, tamales, pozole, or tacos with homemade tortillas. It's always a different, delicious meal, and she makes sure to include fresh salsa and agua fresca or horchata to go with it. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating when I say that my lunchbox looks like it came from a 5-star restaurant, while the guys around me are probably eating gas station burritos. I really don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I'm proud of my wife's cooking. I've always been one of those people who believes that food is one of life's greatest pleasures, and she's absolutely nailed it. Plus, with my demanding construction job, where I'm working 12-hour shifts, having a meal I look forward to really helps me get through the day. I get to sit down and enjoy something my wife made with love, and it's honestly the best part of my day. But lately, things have been a bit awkward at work. The teasing started off harmlessly enough. The guys would joke about how much food I was bringing, saying things like, "Dang, looks like you're running a restaurant today, or are you bringing a whole piñata next?" At first, I didn't mind. I just laughed along with them because I get it, construction workers aren't exactly known for bringing fancy meals. Most of the guys eat whatever they can grab from a convenience store, so they weren't used to someone having a homemade spread every day. But things started to take a weird turn when Rick, 40 SM, started acting like my lunch was some kind of personal offense. Rick's one of those guys who lives off microwavable burgers and cheap frozen meals. He's been in the trade for decades and always acts like he knows what's best, but it's pretty clear his eating habits aren't great. Honestly, I don't care what he eats, but he started making comments that weren't just teasing anymore. A couple weeks ago, I brought in some mole with rice, and when I heated it up, the smell wafted through the break room. Mole isn't the most subtle food. It's rich, spicy, and has a strong scent, but it's not the kind of thing that should be causing a scene. Rick immediately started complaining, saying, "Man, that's stinking up the whole room. Can't you eat that outside?" I told him he was overreacting and that it wasn't even that bad. I even pointed out that other guys bring in stuff like fish or those disgusting instant noodles that stink up the microwave, but that's somehow fine. Rick didn't like that. He shot back with, "Yeah, but those don't have that strong of a smell." It was like he was singling me out for no reason. The next day, another guy at work, let's call him Tom, asked me if my wife could send him a portion of whatever I was bringing. He said it looked so good, he'd even pay for it. I thought it was a joke, so I laughed and said, "Yeah, she's not running a catering business, but I'll ask her." The thing is, though, Rick didn't think this was funny. He got on me about showing off, saying I was too good for the rest of the guys, like my wife's cooking was some kind of status symbol I was flaunting. I honestly didn't think it was anything special. I was just bringing lunch like everyone else. But apparently, Rick felt like my meals were a personal affront. I started getting annoyed. It's not like I was asking anyone else to eat the food or bragging about it. I was just minding my own business, enjoying something my wife worked hard on. I don't see how that's a problem, but Rick started escalating it. He said things like, "You're rubbing in everyone's face, man. You think you're better than us with all your fancy food." The other guys noticed the tension, and while some of them told me to ignore Rick and that I was fine, the atmosphere at work started to feel awkward. The worst part is that my wife found out about all this. She's the sweetest person, and she felt really bad when I told her about the comments. She even suggested she could start packing me less smelly lunches, like sandwiches or something, so I wouldn't cause trouble at work. I know she was just trying to help, but I couldn't bring myself to say yes to that. Her cooking is one of the best parts of my day, and I didn't want to change it for anyone. Plus, I know that if I told her to make something bland, just to avoid a few jokes, it would hurt her feelings. She puts so much effort into making me food every day, and the last thing I want to do is make her feel like she's not appreciated. But now I'm stuck. I'm really torn between wanting to stand up for my wife and her amazing cooking, and wanting to avoid making work more uncomfortable. I'm starting to feel like I'm in a tough spot because I don't want to be the source of drama. I just want to enjoy my lunch without feeling like I'm offending anyone. But at the same time, I don't think I should have to change what I bring just to please a few people. I don't know, maybe I'm being too sensitive, but it feels like the whole situation is getting out of hand. So, AITA for refusing to stop bringing my wife's homemade lunches to work? Should I just give in and eat more neutral food? Or do I have a right to enjoy the meals my wife lovingly prepares for me? I'm really conflicted here, and I don't want to create more tension, but I also don't want to feel like I'm hiding something I'm proud of.